something that now is finally being addressed by the attorney, asking that we finally acknowledge the fact that that person is handling way more people than they should have to be handling, dealing with, you know, individuals who are very, this is a very sensitive time for them. You get a rape victim, and there's a lot of time spent with that person in getting them prepared and ready for trial in order to keep them able to keep on going. And it's a very special skill. It's not something that just anybody can do. And therefore, this I think is a really important piece, and I just do not want to see this cut. I want to see this go forward.
To put it in perspective, I think it's unfair to characterize it as a cut because effectively we're holding the victim witness budget to its 07 level. This would be new and old.
And Mr. Chair, if I may, and I hope that everyone understands, I'm not saying that position may not be necessary within the attorney's budget, but I do know that the attorney has several adjustments that they need to make in their budget with some of the changes that occurred in the municipality of Hibbing, and I'm saying that this is an addition, and we were pretty tough on anybody getting additions. If the attorney feels that this is absolutely essential within her budget, I believe when she's done making her adjustments, she will be able to afford this position. I'm saying to take the 34.5. I am not relating the 34.5 to that position. If the attorney feels that that's an essential component for her services to the people of St. Louis County, it is up to her to find that within her budget. And that's why I'm firm on taking the money, because it was an addition.
Bill and then Steve.
Mr. Chair, does the state put in any money into victim witness programs on a statewide basis? Does the state take over the court system and everything? I would think that the state does.
No, that's in fact why we have the contract with Range Women's Advocates and the Safe Haven through the county attorney's office, is because that state local, it didn't go to the state.
So we get no state money for something like that?
I can't answer that totally. We have to go back and look at Melanie's budget, but to the best of my knowledge, there's not.
What place the state should invest, it should be there. Maybe we should make that part of our legislative initiative to get money for those kinds of programs. But to increase it now, we have the funds.
Well, it should be said that the county attorney can continue, if she wants this to have a position, she can make adjustments within her budget to pay for it. You know, I mean, everyone has places in their budgets they can move money around.
This is the one, Commissioner Fink did call me on this one before the meeting. This is one that he just said, that's a new position. He's just, I know Bill said it earlier about the air show, but he's very firm on getting some money for that, which I believe he is. This is one that he's very firm on, as well as I am, to get it out of this, because it's a new position.
Steve, you have none? Sorry.
No, I guess I would just ask us to reconsider. I mean, I see your point, and you know, you could make that in every department. You know, we can reshuffle around, they can find something else. But I just ask you to recall Ty Schrader's presentation to us. It was very moving, very compelling. You know, as Peg said, it's about helping the victims, but it's also about making sure that the guilty party goes to jail. And you know, so I mean, it really does a lot of work in criminal justice, and I don't think we should give this up. No.
Other times? I would just say that I certainly support the concept that it's been a program that's been around and valued for a number of years, but I just happen to think that within the budget, for example, a reduction in public relations efforts of that department versus victim witness efforts, which in fact is a good public relations effort, that the position could be continued within the dollars in the budget.
I think that was a kind of an unfortunate analogy between the air show and victim witness. Okay, there just is no comparison when we start to compare 15,000 for the air
Mr.
show.
Chair, and maybe I didn't say it. Maybe I
Can I
didn't say
finish
it
what
loud
I'm trying
enough.
to say?
Just clarification,
I was just trying to clarify, I didn't say.
You're conveying Commissioner Fink's.
I was conveying Commissioner Fink's wishes that we support the 15 for the air show and that this not be supported. That's all I was conveying when I said those two items in the same sentence. I was only
I think it
conveying,
was unfortunate they were both in the same
Commissioner
sentence.
Sweeney, you have
I apologize.
What I was trying to say is, I think that the priority should be on those things which affect public safety and that kind of thing versus 15,000 for an air show, which is entertainment and education. And maybe it was just an unfortunate use of those two terms in the same sentence, but I would certainly think that our emphasis would be on public safety versus an air show. And I guess I won't smoke, so
That's true.
Bill.
Yeah, look, before we use this as an option, is there anywhere else we could come up with that money? The overtime, that's a pretty big chunk we have in there. Take some over there.
Well, the reality, just from the perspective as one who's monitored the budget fairly closely, is that, not to pick on the attorney's budget, but there has been some change in revenue streams to that budget, and due to lost or moving certain functions out of that office, i.e. Nemesis contracting, the $60,000 or $70,000 contract with Hibbing for revenue streams was lost. There was a health insurance function that was moved out of the department. So this is just, those are realities of the budget, which means those dollars are still in that budget, but they're not being spent for those functions. Because the baseline funding for 08 budget was based on 07. And those dollars are actually in that budget that were spent for those functions that could be spent for these functions. That's a reality of the budget.
is that true?
David, you can validate or tell me in full
Mr. Chairman,
misunderstanding. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I just,
But
it
that's-
doesn't seem
it
like
should
be.
that.
it should be.
We're not cutting programs,
It's,
reallocating money.
if you can move the money from one point to another, on paper, yes, absolutely. If in fact the county attorney's office was losing $40,000 providing services to the city of Hibbing, and the county attorney's office no longer has to provide service to the city of Hibbing, then by extension, the county attorney's office is saving $40,000. And, I can't answer that question for it. This would be something that you would have to address directly. But if you're losing money on something and you stop doing it, then you stop losing money, so you have money. But whether you can actually retrieve it, it might have been 10% of time for 10 people. So you can't lay off a 10th of a person.
So, can I ask one more
Hey,
thing
yes,
then?
please do.
If there actually is $40,000, then after the first of the year, we could still approve this 1.5 FTE for victim witness. If she can locate the money to pay for it, is that basically what you're saying? Instead of putting this into the budget now, it could be added.
Mr. Chairman, I can't answer that question for her. Like I said, it could be 1/10 of one person's or 10 people's duties equals 40,000. You can't retrieve it because you can't lay off a 10th of a person. I don't know. On paper, again, if you're losing money doing something, you stop doing it, then you don't lose money. When you have the money you would have lost.
How about the Nemesis contract? The ones that's in the budget?
Well, Nemesis is being totally done in the sheriff's office now. It's not being done up there anymore. I guess the offset I would point out would be that their numbers, if you look at cases that they're dealing with, their numbers are increasing.